I'm Katrina, and this is Sow and Tear. And today we're going to be cleaning up the zucchini bed. So these zucchini plants, I pretty much had it. They're not producing anymore. It's late November. These are annual plants, so you plant them every year. So I have been pulling off the leaves for the chickens and the quail, but it's time these get out of the garden. So I'm going to be using some loppers. And we just cut the bottom right off. That's one plant right there. So we are going to feed that to the chickens and to the quails. You can see how easy this is, how quick it is to do. Well, I found a zucchini I didn't know about. Looks like somebody's been eating it. We'll feed that to the chickens as well. So that's it. I've taken out all of the zucchini plants, and we have this basil left over. I'm gonna chop that back and probably dry it. I have enough what do you call them? Anyway, I'm gonna dry it. And we have these tomatoes that planted themselves. I don't know where they came from because we did not use the worm compost in this. And then we also have some eggplants, and I'll bring you in close to see these eggplants. I think I'm going to let the eggplants stay. I do have some eggplants in the front that have overwintered twice, so we might give them a test run here. Let's bring you in close. So this is what we have left. Now that the zucchini is out. So I did plant yesterday, I did plant a couple of artichokes. They look sad because they were just planted. These are babies off of my neighbor's artichoke. And then I'm going to transplant 3 more into this bed. It'll become an artichoke bed. So here is the basil that's in here. I planted a bunch of basil from seed, and hardly any of them came up because they were too shaded out by the zucchini. I thought I'd try it. I'm probably going to end up drying this because it will die when we get a bigger frost. And I have enough pesto in the freezer. So I also planted a bunch of eggplants this year. Now, some of these are splitting and past their prime, so they're going to be good for seeds. I actually didn't eat very many of them this year. They didn't start producing until much later, and when the zucchini were quite large. But I do have, this is more eggplant. I do have a eggplant in the front that overwintered. This is what the eggplant flower looks like. I have eggplant that's overwintered in the front for a couple years, and so that is kind of fun. Oh, and this guy has been around for a couple days. This is a praying mantid. So that's fun. We have some predators in this area. They're non-discriminatory. They eat anything. They're pretty cool. I'm cleaning this leg. So, that's how easy it is to clean up a bed. I am going to pull out this cherry tomato, which planted itself, but you know, it's November and we're getting tomatoes, so that's not usual for where I am in planting zone 9B. But I am going to pull this one out. I'll keep some of the other ones in the yard and we'll go from there. Now this eggplant here I saw early on and I was going to keep for seeds. So you can see it's turning color and it's gonna get hard soon. This is what it looks like when they're supposed to be planted, or sorry, it was supposed to be harvested. You know, nice purple color. So we'll harvest some of those. Their flowers are a little bit darker. But anyway, I will come back when that is done. Today we're going to be transplanting some artichokes. Right now I have them in the shade. I decided to tuck them in here because that's the space I had when I bought them. I bought 3 different types. So now we're going to put them in the sunlight where they deserve. This one is Purple Italian Globe, and it was planted in shade. That's why it's so tiny. This one is Green Globe Artichoke. It's the same as the 2 that I have over there from my neighbor. And that is, we're doing pretty good. This one is called Purple Ove Romagna, and it's a new one to me. Let's go put these in the ground. So here we are, we have our tag. I like to put these tags up at the front of the bed so they don't get lost underneath the plant when they get larger. And here is our first artichoke, and our second artichoke. I planted, there's one right in front of the camera from my neighbor. And I'm going to plant this one. I'm going to do it right here. It's maybe a couple feet apart from the other one. And these will all have babies that will come off of them, and you can plant those as well. So in the years coming, you just have more and more that you have the opportunity to plant. But they're really easy to plant. And for those, you just break off and plant in. So that's number one done. Then the next one was pretty small, didn't have much root, and so I am actually going to choose to leave this for a few days, and hopefully it doesn't frost and I can harvest this later. That way it's getting a little bit of shade while its roots establish, and so that's why I'm choosing the location that I am choosing for this one. Usually I put mycorrhizae in the bottom of the holes, but this time I can't find it. So I know that I put mycorrhizae in the beginning of making this bed, at the beginning of the growing season this last summer. So there's little critters in there. And again, I put the tag up at the front of the bed so that if I need to know what it is, that's where it is, and I know where to find it. Again, this is another one that my neighbor gave me yesterday. And then we have one more down here. And I'm actually going to go further towards the end of the bed here. Put it right here. So now I will have five artichoke plants, and they will be giving me lots of artichokes. And if I take care of them, then their babies will give me lots of artichokes. And we're not just talking about seeds. You can get seeds from them, but you can also, they give pups. So a little part will break off. Actually, let me show you what that looks like. So here, oops. Here's one of the ones that my neighbor gave me. Looks sad because it's in a new home. But you see this knob here? That came off another plant. So it's going to come out from the sides and give you offshoots. And you can leave them there and they'll get crowded, or you can transplant them and get new plants in that way. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have room to put one more in here if I want to later. I'm not going to right now because this is what I have. Now that we've planted these artichokes, it's a really good idea to water it really good. Give it a good watering in. Let those roots recover. So I water a little bit and then I come back and do more and come back and do more instead of flooding it at once. That's my method. Other people might do different things. So that's artichokes. So a lesson from this is that if you have something, or if you have the opportunity to buy a plant that you really want, a variety that you want, or something like that, and you don't have a place for it yet, then that's okay. You can put it in the ground, take care of it until you have the right place for it. So that was my case. When I bought these plants, I didn't really have a good place for them in the sun, but I did have a shaded spot, and that will keep them alive. So now they'll do really good. And I just noticed this. Isn't this exciting? This is an egg casing from that mantid. Very cool. I didn't see that yesterday, so it must have been laid today. But that's where the seeds are. Every one of those lines on the front is a cell for a different baby. So we're gonna have some good hunters in this garden. It's pretty awesome. So thanks for tuning in, and have fun growing artichokes. Bye.